Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Neil, and the topic that we'll be discussing today of English grammar is subject verb agreement. I hope that some of you have already heard about it, and if not, that's also okay because I'll be trying to make it as simplified for you as possible. So, to begin the topic, first of all, just if I have to ask you from a very layman's point of view, that when you look at these terms, subject verb agreement, what comes to your mind first? Maybe some of you might think that when I look at these three terms, the thing that clicks and comes to my mind is that there's an agreement that happens between subject and verb. Well, you are absolutely right. Yes, there's an agreement which happens between subject and verb, and basis that the rules are formulated. Also, as it is with other topics of grammar, with this as well, the more deeper you go, the more rules you have and more exceptions you have. So here as well, we'll be talking about the basic rule of subject verb agreement, and on the basis of which your majority of your verbal communication is dependent upon it. So let us kickstart the session and first of all try to understand what subject is and what verb actually means. So when we talk about verb, if I ask you what a verb is, again, verb is an action word. Now, what does an action word mean? It is the action that is happening when you're talking, when you're making a statement, the action that is performed by the subject, that is called as verb. The state of action that happens, that is called as verb. So we have to ask, if we have to ask that what could be the primarily examples of verbs, it can be run, it can be write, it can be dance, it can be sleep, so on and so forth. These can be the examples of verb. So it is the state of action that you do. Similarly, what is a subject? Again, no rocket science associated with this. It is just when you talk about a person or a thing, about whom you're saying something, the person or the thing which is in the limelight in that statement, about whom you're saying something, or maybe that action is performed by that person or thing, that specific thing or that person is termed as subject. So just to summarize, subject is the performer and verb is the action that is being performed. Just to simplify it, subject is the performer and verb is the action that has been performed. Just an example again here, that he is not here. So the subject here is he, since we are talking about he. Similarly, book is not on my desk. The subject here is the book. Now let us move forward and talk about the rule, and as I said, just to reiterate the basic and the fundamental rule of subject verb agreement, it is if the subject is singular, verb should be singular. If the subject is plural, the verb should be plural. So that is the agreement that has happened between subject and verb, that if you have a verb, you have a subject which is singular, the verb has to be in the singular form. If the subject is in plural, the verb has to be in plural form. And one more thing, just to remember that when you talk about verb, a verb with an S is considered as singular and a verb without S is considered as plural. Now, what do I mean by that? Just to formulate that by in terms of examples, when I say mom cooks breakfast, now if we have to identify the subject here, what is the subject here? The subject here is mom. What is the action that is being performed? That is, she's cooking something, so cooks is the verb here. Now, when we talk about the rule says if the subject is singular. So here the subject is mom and mom is singular. So the verb should also be singular, which is cooks. Now, why we are using cooks here? Because as I said before as well, when you're talking about verb with S, it is considered as singular. Without S, it is considered as plural. So that's why the second example, if you see, moms is plural. That's why it is cook. It is not cooks. Now, a very small exception is this is here in this case, where I and you are considered as plural verbs. So are considered as plural subjects. So whenever you are using I and you will always use plural verb. So you cannot say I eats breakfast. You have to say I eat breakfast. The same thing happens with you as well. You can't say you eats breakfast. You have to say you eat breakfast. So this is the fundamental rule, as I said, and if you get hold of this rule, majority of your grammar will be on track. As I said, if the subject is singular, verb should be singular. subject is plural, verb should be plural. That is the agreement. I hope you are able to understand that. Thank you so much for your time.